The big wait is finally over and we're here with a whole new season of Rick and Morty. Here is episode 1. Rick trapped the kids in a matrix and then passed out from alcoholism. I sure hate that Rick is torturing the kids for no goddamn reason, but what can you do? Guess that's our Rick now. His character development is so damn slow that he still hasn't figured out how to not inflict terrible psychological trauma on his grandkids on a regular basis by season 8. Also, this episode is very summer-centric and I'm the #1 summer hater, so I was not pleased. Summer has become a tech bro CEO, but still maintained her general brattiness and connivingness. Also, there are a lot of dumb phone charger-related jokes in this episode. I wasn't a big fan, but at least a lot of the other fans really liked it, so we're back, baby! Episode 2. When I saw that this was a Space Best episode, I was really excited. Finally, a great semi-lore episode. It was really good, and it even had Bird Person and Bird Daughter in it. But it feels kind of off. Most of this episode is just them doing a Star Wars, which is something that Rick says he outgrew. Not just because he isn't pure good anymore, but also because he could end the Grumflamite Empire in an instant by turning a 1 into a 0. But here he is working really hard to kill one evil eugenicist scientist. This should be easier for Rick. So presumably Rick isn't using most of his powers here, so he can spend more quality time with his space daughter. Okay, I'm on board for that. But sadly, many of the jokes here have the typical Dan Harmon problem, where they seem to be written to sound smart instead of being actually funny. You gotta learn how to do more with less. You don't need to explain every joke multiple times.
Hey, freeze!
You first.
Walk right into it!
Why would they say that? Why do they care more about, oh no, she's made the pun, than being frozen alive, you know? It's just like, oh, this is a joke from the writer's room. These insects, they don't like being frozen, you know. They also really don't like it if you make a pun about them. Yeah, it was just a regular pun, and then they're like, oh, damn it, she punned us. But you're frozen, that should be the headline.
It's Rick Sanchez!
Hey, my daughter is just as dangerous.
Okay, I guess it was kind of nice that he says, oh, my daughter is just as dangerous, but then this joke here is terrible.
Wait, so the gun also shoots a sign?
Yeah, for clarity, so people know it's quicksand and not a brown portal or diarrhea.
But doesn't the sign tip off the enemy?
No, the other side says ordinary sand. See, there's your classic diarrhea.
Whatever, can we go now?
See, that was terrible. I can't believe that Rick has that stupid gun that shoots a sign that says quicksand, and on the other side it says ordinary sand. And then his daughter somehow asked the question, which was quite unnecessary, and then he explains it, which is super unnecessary. Like maybe if you have to do the joke, then maybe just show the sign, you know. But then, I mean, it was followed up with the diarrhea, which was mildly amusing. Also, we have a really cool special guest in this episode. It's the handler guy from the Barry series. I really enjoyed the little details of how his team is evil Grumflamites, but they're working together with Rick, and I love how they're all ready to die in a horrible science-based way to help Rick find a cure. But then sadly, half the jokes interrupt the cool things that are happening. That's all good stuff, but then sadly, half the jokes are that something weird happens and then someone explains it sarcastically. Maybe Dan Harmon is just working too hard, because all his shows now seem to have this same vibe. Because it is on one side doing a Star Wars too unironically, and on the other side it is making too many ironic jokes. How ironic. Or maybe it doesn't have the quality of earlier Rick and Morty episodes. Or am I getting bored of Rick and Morty? Oh my god, am I getting bored of my favorite show? No! Episode 3. Alright, we're back. It's a Citadel episode. Or presumably the actually finally last episode of the Citadel. It's epic on every level, and I don't even mind that it's doing a John Wick, or should I say a John Rick? Actually, how is that not the episode title? There is a fat Rick who looks like the Mafia Rick from the Gotron episode, but he is actually a totally new original character, who is somewhat KFC based. And are any of these Mortys the same as the Mortys from the Tales from the Citadel? I can't tell. I guess all these yellow shirts blur together. Anyways, this episode is almost as good as the Tales from the Citadel, which is one of my all-time favorite episodes. And it actually finally adds a satisfying conclusion to the Citadel plotline. Epic. And I don't even feel bad that we won't see the Citadel Rick and Mortys again because of how good this episode was. And as a little bonus to me, Rick is actually a little nicer to Morty in this episode after all this time. Maybe he finally learned from the Matrix fiasco from episode 1. Alright, subscribe for more Rick and Morty. I don't know when I'll have time to continue my big retrospective series on Rick and Morty because I've been really engrossed in my game dev work. And I'm really happy about that. So subscribe to my main channel to hear more about my game dev stuff. But I'm still looking forward to analyzing the Rick tag from this crazy season. See you soon for the rest of the episodes of Season 8. Wubba-lubba-dub-dub! Subscribble. Damn it, why did I pause? I didn't have anything to say yet.